Hey there everybody, Aaron here. Welcome to another episode of Gideon's Tactical. Today we're checking out the SOG Flashback. This is a pretty sweet blade. You know, I think a lot of you out there are going to absolutely love this. If you love a Flash Model 2, you're going to love this Flashback as we go through this. So today we're just going to do some field testing so you can kind of see it in action. We'll go through the ins and outs of this blade and see if this is a good purchase for you. So let's go ahead and jump out there and begin to use the SOG Flashback. Alright, well let's go ahead and talk about the blade here and then do some cardboard cutting. You got a 3.5 inch AUS 8 made hollow ground blade. You can get them in a bunch of different styles. We'll talk about that a little bit later as we go through here. It's definitely, you know, kind of that spear point design with that unsharpened swedge up top. Real nice, real nice blade with a Rockwell hardness of 56 to 58. So great design, great for stabbing, slicing, cutting. So let's just go ahead and get on into this cardboard cutting. And you can see there, woo, going right through that cardboard. Awesome, awesome. It will just go right through that cardboard, you know, so if you're rocking this EDC, look out cardboard, you're going to go right through that stuff, no problem. You can see the hollow grind on this Flashback is doing a great job with the carving. Razor sharp AUS 8, gotta love that, as always. And very comfortable in my hand. I love this kind of valley that they've given us. The jimping is not too aggressive where it's painful or hurting my bare hands, but I got really good traction, feels very comfortable as I do this. The ergonomics for this type of style of cutting are great, so you can definitely use this, you know, as your pocket knife on a day hike, you know, or pair it with one of your larger SOG blades, maybe a tech buoy or a super buoy or something like that. Great little pocket knife for wilderness carving and cutting. So we got some really heavy duty nylon cord here. You can see razor sharp hollow grind is going to go right through that webbing, man-made material real easily. Don't really have to put any pressure on it or effort. Right now they only make a plain edge with this knife. I'm sure as time goes on, and I'm sure this is going to be a big, you know, hit and a bestseller for SOG. I'm sure that they will give you some serrations down the line. As always, I don't think you need it. I don't like serrations, so the plain edge works great with this heavy-duty nylon rope. And you can also get the blade with a tanto, with a tiny or tie-nye coating with the drop point that you see here, or with the tanto blade shape as well, with either satin or tie-nye coating for the SOG Flashback, but great at slicing through man-made materials. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at the locking mechanism on the Flashback and the handle construction. What we have here is, like we would know from all the other SOG models, is they're kind of rolling lock. I believe they call it their arc lock. I believe it has been redesigned, is what they say, so they've done some different things to help with the open assist. So it is an open assist knife, so you just got to be aware of that. Whips out super fast, very quick opening, whips out really nice with authority, and then it does have a little bit of blade play, but much less than older SOG models. So that's what I believe that they kind of tweaked a little bit, is there's a lot tighter lockup with the blade. There is, again, still just slight blade play, but almost the same amount as most of my Benchmates have, which is just a little bit of blade play left and right. Definitely nowhere near as much blade play as they used to have. And then it's that locking mechanism, you just swing it back, then you can disengage the lock. It's a pretty tight spring there, so I mean you can close it one-handed. I'm going to try and do it here for you. You roll the lock back, push down, and then close it, but it's not comfortable. It's not easy. There are a lot of other knives that you can do it a lot easier one-handed. So, you know, you're probably going to close it two-handed most of the time, but you can do it one-handed, whereas like the Flash Model 2, you cannot close it one-handed at all. Then you got your little safety mechanism right here. Red is dead, so when it's open like that, boom, it whips open real super fast with authority. Then you can close it back up. And then, you know, if it's around children, or maybe, you know, your wife's thrown it in her purse, or you just don't want to accidentally deploy it, you just close it down so no red is showing, and now the blade cannot deploy. So a little bit tweaking there with their lockup than in previous models. I like it. It's definitely a little bit tighter, and I always like tight lockups, like probably most of you out there. So the open assist and the lockup are fantastic on the Flashback. And let's just go ahead, as we're talking about the lockup, we'll talk about the handle as well. The weight on this knife is 3.7 ounces, so that's great, under 4 ounces in weight for a 3.5-inch open assisted knife. Love that. You got glass reinforced nylon handles, that's what the black is, covered by stainless steel. So they basically, you know, most knives will do a stainless steel liners and then glass reinforced outer handle. They basically did the opposite with this Flashback to kind of give it a more technical look, a little bit different. So it does give it some strength as well with that stainless steel. And then the jimping is just amazing, amazing amounts of jimping all along this knife right here, back here, along the finger grooves down here. And I will say, you know, I wear large size gloves, and it's very large in the hand, very long. I have about an inch spare left over so that I could use the knife. If you're wearing gloves, you know, it won't be too small in your hand. A little bit thinner than the normal Flash Model 2 as well, which is good. It does still have this kind of staircase design right here where your fingers go, where your index and middle finger go. I don't really care for that. The only really saving grace is that instead of a thumb ramp, they gave us kind of a thumb valley, I guess. So it feels a little bit better in your hand. You gotta kind of get used to it. You know, if you love the Flash Model 2, you're gonna love this knife. I did not really care for the ergonomics on the Flash Model 2. So, you know, I would say this. I'm probably a 6 on the ergonomics of this knife. They'd be great if you're wearing gloves, you know, or having to use it kind of as a tactical knife. You could definitely do that, or EDC. But not really my favorite ergonomics on the market. There's definitely a lot of other knives I kind of prefer. But if you like SOG knives, and particularly the Flash Model 2, you're going to love the Flashback with its ergonomics and crazy amount of jimping that's comfortable with bare hands, but give you great traction with gloves.
Okay, so here's the pocket clip on the Flashback. You can see here, real nice deep ride, has SOG punched through on that pocket clip. It's very strong. Stainless steel, you know, so you're not worried about it bending or breaking. Just enough of a flare to be able to grab it. Not too big, which is also nice. So you can grab the knife, pull it out, use it. Kind of hard to close one-handed, but you can do it. Put it back in your pocket, good to go. Super nice loop over design there, so you're going to get some really nice, super deep ride. The stainless steel right here doesn't have any grooving or jimping. They put it down here. I would have liked to see them put another set of that right here, and then it'd be really easy to grab and pull out of your pocket. It's not hard to pull out of your pocket, but that would have just helped a little bit when you're using the SOG Flashback. But aside from that, awesome design pocket clip. It is rotatable for left or right, tip up only.
Okay, so I want to bring in a competitive option for you for the Flashback. For right around the same price, within about $5 or less, you can get the Kershaw piston. It has the exact same blade length at 3.5 inches, has G10 handles, which are really nice. It does have that just normal natural liner lock that a lot of us know. It has awesome thumb studs, just like the SOG Flashback has great thumb studs. And then it does have a finger flipper as well. If you're into finger flippers, it does give you that option. Open assist, just like the Flashback. The Flashback is a lot faster. You can definitely tell the Flashback by SOG will whip open a lot quicker than your Kershaw piston will. The Kershaw piston has the Sandvik steel, which is made in the knife is made in the U.S. So you got a better quality steel, and it's made here in the U.S. Whereas the SOG Flashback, the parts are the blade is AUS 8, which is made in Japan, but they are shipping it over and putting it together now in the U.S., which is really cool. If you go on SOG's website, they're not making them in Taiwan anymore, but assembling them in Taiwan. The blade steel, the AUS 8 is from Japan, and then they ship it over here and put it together here in the U.S. So that is cool, but the Kershaw is a full-blown U.S.-made knife with a higher quality steel, open assist, all those things, adjustable pocket clips and all that stuff, and weighs right about the same. I believe the Kershaw, I think, weighs in at 4.1. if I remember correctly. So a couple, half an ounce heavier, but very similar in both price, and you are going to get a slightly better quality steel and US-made knife with the piston. So that is one knife I just want to kind of throw in as a great comparative option, and ultimately I would take the piston over the Flashback. Flashback isn't a bad knife, but I like the piston a little bit more for a lot of different reasons. All right, everyone, so you've seen the SOG Flashback in action, so now I got to tell you, is it worth a purchase for you? Well, it's very unique. It's a different type of design, very technical in its looks, so it is nice that when you pull it out of your pocket, regardless if you're EDCing it, you're hanging out around your campsite, or you're going down range, it's definitely a little bit different than most other knives on the market and just how it looks. I think the quality is there. I really like the kind of tweaks that they've done to their locking and its open assisted, options that they've given us in the past. It definitely opens faster than your old Flash Model 2 would, and the ergonomics are a little bit better for sure than the old Flash Model 2. The thing that really hooks me up and kind of hangs me up is still, I don't really, just me personally, don't care for the ergonomics right here with the kind of staircased jimping along with the kind of finger grooves they give you. Just still feels a little weird in my hand. Much better than the Flash Model 2 in its ergonomics, but still just isn't quite there for me on the ergonomic side. But it's got great traction plan, so if you are using it, you know, in any way, barehanded, gloves, tactical, whittling, carving, cardboard cutting, I mean, the traction is there. You're not going to accidentally cut yourself. Great blade design. You know, I like that they're making them now, putting them together in the U.S. They're still made overseas, but, you know, putting them together in the U.S., that's a big plus as well. Love the deep pocket clip. So ultimately, I mean, if you're going to ask me, hey, are you going to buy that piston and carry that every day, or are you going to carry the Flashback? I'm going to have to go with the piston because it's almost the exact same price. So I would have to say, you know, on a scale 1 to 10, probably a good 6, 6.5 on my likability scale for the Flashback. Much better than the Flash Model 2, but still not quite there for me personally in my how I love pocket knives and use them. Not quite there for me. So I'd say a 6 out of 10 for here over the Gideon's Tactical channel. Thanks everybody for watching. Stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.